Tonight is a perfect example of an existing business and structure like Horizon Power coming to the disruption and leading that charge by wanting to see what is going to be over the horizon itself. And use the pun there, but for them to get that visibility because they're going to be disrupted regardless, and for them to stimulate the disruption and be a part of it, I think is very brave. I think it's inspiring, and obviously they must have some great thought leaders that see that this change is coming, and they rather than being left behind, is that how do they participate in it? So they're on the ground floor. They can be part of their own disruption, and to do that through the pollinizer framework, I think is indicative of that leadership and thinking.
The event that we've just been tonight has been really interesting for us because here we see an organisation that is one of the traditional players in the industry actually inviting disruption and inviting other players to come into that industry. So seeing that dynamic has been really interesting because I guess the organisation that I'm from is a traditional player in the industry which is doing exactly that from the inside.
What I found inspirational was bringing the disruptor and the potentially disrupted together in a melting pot that allowed them to actually have a two-way dialogue. And I think that's so important for any industry to move forward in an exponential sense.
Having been in the Australian energy market for 9 years, there's a huge frustration with regulation. And what I think Horizon bring is an open market, a sandpit to play in that's deregulated, unregulated, and can facilitate the disruption. So in that sandpit, products, services and ideas can percolate and eventually develop into real products that I think can come back into the NEM, into the Eastern Seaboard, but more importantly out into the global market.
We're looking for a business concept that's a breakthrough business concept here, but hasn't been previously envisaged. To test that, you need a fertile test bed to test and get the feedback from the customers, get the feedback from data analytics, see what works and fine-tune the product as you go along. And so Horizon Power's position is really unique in Australia, where you can test the product all the way up the vertical stack and down the vertical stack, which is just not possible in the Eastern Seaboard markets.
It's such an amazing opportunity. You're given a salary, you've given this access to an end-to-end, fully vertically integrated player in Western Australia. So, as a startup, that is the kind of luxury that you don't usually get. You're usually scrambling around trying to find your feet, but this goes a long way in getting that really unfair advantage that you guys talked about tonight.
For most startups, there's this long gestation period in trying to get the product right, trying to understand what the market will bring, trying to refine and iterate, and Pollinizer just accelerates that. It just forces thinking into a very, very compact, systemized fashion so that the ideas can be developed that much quicker.
I came here today really just to observe and to absorb by osmosis the ideas that were circulating around. But actually while sitting there, I've come up with an idea which I'm not willing to share with you at this point in time, but I will be submitting it for a pitch.